Dear viewers, on October 28, 2025, Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis and Deputy Chief Minister Eknath Shinde gathered at BEST Best's Kulaba depot for a celebration. With Maharashtra Assembly Speaker Rahul Narvekar, Guardian Minister Ashish Shelar and Minister Mangal Prabhat Lodha in attendance, the government leaders cut ribbons and posed for photographs as they inaugurated 157 new electric buses into Mumbai's best fleet. Fadnavis called it a moment of joy for Mumbaikars, declaring that the financial capital would receive 5,000 such electric buses in phases. Deputy CM Shinde proclaimed this a fulfillment ceremony, claiming the government delivers on its promises and has given Best a new lease of life after the previous government turned Best into West. But here is the thing, sometimes what looks like a celebration is actually a cover-up. Because while the government was busy cutting ribbons at Best's Kulaba depot on October 28th, it was also quietly cutting something else, the oxygen line that keeps Mumbai's lifeline alive. This wasn't revival, this was a photo op masking a slow, deliberate killing of Mumbai's public transport system. So let's peel off the confetti and see what's really going on behind those green electric buses and those smiling leaders. Hello, I am Tejas and you're watching Honest Take on Lokmat Times. In this video, we will show you how, contrary to the government's claim, the Best buses services in Mumbai are facing a slow and painful death. But before we move ahead, you know the drill. Subscribe to Lokmat Times if you haven't already and press the bell icon to never miss an update. And if you live in Mumbai and use public transport, watch this important video till the end. At the Kulaba depot, you had the full VIP squad: CM Devendra Fadnavis, Deputy CM Eknath Shinde, Assembly Speaker Rahul Narvekar, Ashish Shelar, Mangal Prabhat Lodha, all standing in front of 157 new electric buses, claiming Mumbai was entering a new era of public transport. Shinde even took a dig at the opposition, saying the previous government turned Best into West. Big words, big smiles, big claims. But behind those speeches was a small problem. None of those 157 buses belong to the Best. Not one. All were wet leased, meaning they are owned and operated by private contractors, while Best just pays per kilometer. 115 of them came from a private company called Mumbai Mobility and another 35 from EV Trans Maharashtra. So essentially, the government threw a party for buses that aren't even Bests. It's like celebrating your neighbor's car because you get to sit in it sometimes. Now let's talk numbers, because they don't lie, even when politicians do. Back in 2010, Best had 4,385 buses, owned, operated, controlled. By June 2025, that number had collapsed to just 437. That's a 90% drop, and out of the total 2,759 buses that run in Mumbai today, only 308 belong to the Best. The rest, outsourced, leased and controlled by private companies who can pull out whenever they want. In September 2023, Best still owned around 1,500 buses. Within 18 months, that number was chopped down to a quarter. That's not decline, that is demolition. And it's not like people aren't noticing. Routes have vanished, wait times have doubled, and fares, fares have gone through the roof. Just 6 months before this grand celebration, the government did something extraordinary. It doubled Best fares. Yes, doubled. Non-AC fares went from rupees 5 to 10 and AC fares went from 6 to 12. For longer routes, the hike went up to 200%. Monthly passes, same story. A 5-kilometer non-AC pass jumped from rupees 450 to 800. This is the same service that had reduced fares in 2019 to make buses affordable. And guess what happened then? Ridership shot up to 35 lakh daily passengers. Cut fares, ridership rose. Double fares, ridership crashed. Simple equation, but apparently math isn't mathing for this government. By August 2025, Best lost 7 lakh daily passengers in 3 months. That's not just a number, that is 7 lakh people priced out of basic necessity. Now imagine this, a city of 2.1 crore people operating on just 2,700 buses. According to transport norms, Mumbai should have around 10,500 buses. That's 50 per lakh people. Best is operating at least than one-third of that. And it's getting worse. Unions warn that if this continues, Best's owned fleets could hit zero by 2026 or 27. That means not a single bus under Best's name. Not one. The rest of Mumbai's buses will be privately owned, privately operated and publicly branded as Best. It is privatization, just without the honesty of calling it that. Remember the good old days when you could take a direct Best from Bandra to RC Church or Malwani to airport? gone. Route number 1 discontinued. Route 180 gone. Route 506 limited from Devnar to Nerur suspended. Route 604 between Bhandup and Kanjurmarg also axed in October 2025, the same month as the big bus celebration. You know what the best calls this? Route rationalization. What it really means is long routes that actually helped commuters are being cut, replaced by tiny feeder services to metro stations. Because apparently the government's vision of public transport is short, inconvenient and profitable for others. Now here is the real kicker. At the same October 28th event, the Chief Minister told BEST officials they need to generate 40% of their revenue from non-fare sources. Translation: stop depending on us. Start selling ads, lease out land, build theatres, open food courts on depot land. This is not a joke. The CM literally suggested building Marathi film theatres at bus depot. So now, instead of focusing on buses, routes or commuters, BEST has to figure out how to become a property developer and advertising agency. Imagine being told, you are a bus company but please earn your money from hoardings. This is what happens when governance becomes a business model. Take a walk through the city and look at the bus stops. Half of them are no longer shelters for commuters. They are billboards, advertisements plastered over everything. Buses, stops, depots, all turned into real estate opportunities. Kurla depot was among the first to be auctioned off in 2006. Mahim followed, then Oshiwara, Dahisar, Yari Road, Warsaw. At Mahim, officials even admitted there is hardly any space left for buses because the depot, yes, a bus depot, has been eaten up by commercial projects. A 2017 report said BEST could earn rupees 2000 crore annually through such land leasing, and today that is exactly what they are chasing. Not service, not expansion, not affordable travel, profit. So who really benefits? Let's connect the dots. Fares up, commuters pay more. Fleet down, public gets less. Private operators in, contractors earn more. Government out, no accountability. Sounds like a perfect business plan for everyone except the people who actually use the buses. And it's not just about Mumbai. Across India, state-run transport undertakings are shrinking while private mobility companies grow at over 7% per year. Maharashtra is among the top 5 states where private bus operators are expanding fast. So when the government says we are modernizing BEST, what it really means is we are outsourcing it bit by bit. Here is where it gets almost poetic. Deputy CM Shinde said at the event, public transport is never in profit. BMC will continue to support BEST. Minutes later, CM Fadnavis declared that BEST must become self-sustaining through non-fare revenue. Two leaders, two microphones, two completely opposite statements. If this wasn't tragic, it would be comedy gold. While ministers gave speeches, commuters were standing at bus stops in the rain, waiting 30 to 45 minutes for buses that never came. They are paying double fares, they have lost direct routes, and they are forced to shift to shared autos or private cabs that bleed their wallets daily. BEST once carried 45 lakh passengers a day. It's now struggling at 25 lakh. That's a loss of nearly half its riders in a decade. And yet, the government celebrates adding 157 rented buses like it's a national achievement. Let's step back. What is happening to BEST isn't an accident, it's a pattern. Step 1, starve a public institution. Step 2, call it inefficient. Step 3, hand its assets to private players under the label of reform. And step 4, cut a ribbon and call it progress. Sounds familiar? That's how education, healthcare and now public transport are being hollowed out. Not with one big decision, but 1,000 small ones. The October 28th event was meant to show that the government cares about public transport, but every fact screams the opposite. They doubled fares, slashed fleets, privatized operations and turned depot into shopping complexes. Then they stood in front of cameras and told Mumbai, we have given BEST a new lease of life. No, you haven't. You have given it a rented bus and an eviction notice. So here is what we need to ask. If the government truly wants to revive BEST, why not invest directly? Why force it to act like a mall manager instead of a transport utility? Why make commuters pay for policy failure through doubled fares and disappearing routes? And why celebrate 157 leased buses while 4,000 owned ones lie scrapped and forgotten? Is this revival or slow euthanasia with good PR? Because when you strip away the speeches, the slogans and the smiling faces, the truth is simple. Mumbai's BEST is dying. And the government that should be saving it is the one quietly pulling the plug. So the next time you see those red electric buses and those photo ops with ribbon cutting smiles, remember this. Those buses might be electric, but the government's intent, stone cold. This is not just about transport, it's about how public services die, not overnight, but in broad daylight smiling for camera. This was your honest take. If you care about Mumbai, ask the question they don't want you to. Is the government slowly killing the best? That's all for now. Thank you for watching Lokmat Time.